Do we have a weaker and stronger brother, or a heavier and lighter brother? Hi, I'm Colin, a biblical scholar, helping make faith more practical with bibliologic. And this is a commonly referenced passage on the practice of how to best coexist in Christian community with believers you disagree with. Which, face it, this is a really important topic for today's church. Romans 14 refers to the weaker brother, and we assume also the stronger brother, which if you read this passage, you see multiple definitions given. Weaker, and we often think stronger, but that's not necessarily what it says. This could also mean they're maybe impoverished, they don't eat meat, and as a result, they could just be physically weaker from that. We also see who is set apart versus who is not. This is more talking about how people see holiness, how they hold their perspectives apart. They're not really better or worse for it. So this is really less about who is weak and strong, and more about people with different definitions, dimensions of faith, different proportions. This isn't a you have less faith and I have more thing. This is like the illustration of 1,000 pounds of feathers and 1,000 pounds of steel. Which is lighter? If anyone answered feathers, guys, no, you were wrong. Sorry. The purpose here is not to compare our two faiths. The values are incongruent, unequal, but they are real. Because being faithful will be unequal. You can't have faith without being faithful, which requires doing something. And we all serve differently. We all use different gifts. We all use different amounts of energy. It's unequal. So pick up at verse 7. For none of us lives for himself, and none dies for himself. If we live for the Lord. If we die for the Lord. Therefore, whether we live or die, we are the Lord's. Where we differ on these issues is inconsequential in Jesus' eyes. So understand, we're going to disagree on theology. That's fine. But you 1,000 pounds of steel people need to be careful not to crush those with feathery faith. If it's consistent with Scripture and they demonstrate a faithful walk with Christ, you have no reason to complain. Each of us are going to give an account to God. He's judge. So don't interfere in that process and wind up on the wrong side of God's anger. Rather, as verse 19 says, how can we become more peaceful, more close-knit and supportive of each other, even while we disagree? It really is a question we should all consider as followers of Christ. If you want help in thinking through how, well, like and follow for more.